the chance of keeping the northern caliphate as the northern region as it was agreed in 1960. That was what everyone agreed to then, where we can say we had representatives who actually got involved and agreed to an independent Nigeria with independent regions. Do you understand? That was what we agreed until 6 years later when they killed the new country and they gave birth to a new one, the tyrannical one, led by dictators, criminals, murderers, genocidists. Oh dear, who have kept telling us that they agreed that arrangement from 1966 is non-negotiable. Who agreed? With who? We know them all. But whatever they agreed on, they are losing the grip. The last person among them that is still alive to taste power among those who destroyed Nigeria from 1966, the last of them is Bokwari, the man called Mumumadu. Bokwari is the last of them. And this is what they were known for: bloodbath, bloodshed, killings, human rights abuses, destruction of economy, corruption, stealing, looting, making people disappear. These are their stock in trade. Like Fela said, their regular trademark. Sorrow, tears, and blood, their regular trademark. Bokwari is their last. And I think this is their last battle to keep Nigeria one. After this, we will see how much of them can keep Nigeria one, because the old factors are there. I can begin to analyze them for you. You know what? Give the presidency to one Southerner in 2023 as they are cooking up, as they are planning. Let's say they give it to a Southerner, then you will realize that the northern Nigeria that are ready to kill anybody that says Bokwari is incompetent, is corrupt, and is a murderer, and he is a sponsor. The sponsor of Boko Haram and the terrorism in that northern Nigeria, and you will see them up in arms against you. Wait for them that there is nobody called a jihadist in Aso Rock anymore for them, and see how they are going to be really, really at war beyond what you can imagine. And everybody will be wondering, oh boy, where were these people 8 years ago? And by then, many of you will then begin to believe that the last of them to force Nigeria together, the moment is government force, right? That is the end of it. And they know. The politicians they are talking about, the elite they are talking about, they have no idea on how to force Nigeria to remain one. They don't have the idea. They can manipulate, but they need the military to back them, right? And as you see it now, the military is already fractured. You have the northern military, you have the southern military. You understand what I'm talking about. It's already polarized. It's already sabotaged. And you know that is why the war against terrorism in Nigeria will never be won, because the terrorist sympathizers, are in government and they are in the military. They control the intelligence, all the security reports and everything. So they are already divided. And they told us under Buratai the Butcher, they said their loyalty is to Bokwari. It is not to Nigeria. Because according to them, Bokwari is Nigeria. Now, with that, you already have a divided military that can never fight or defend Nigeria. So what do you think will happen when they no longer have an Islamist, a jihadist apologist, or other jihadist and terrorist apologists in government that will shield and protect the terrorists, that will give arm and ammunition to terrorists the moment Nigeria get delivery of them? Who are those who are going to continue to do that other than those who have already sabotaged the military? Now, then you will realize that Nigeria is irredeemable. For now, what they are pushing is to see if they can legally establish these killers from the Sahel. So unity begging. They said, let's talk about, let's go and find somebody who is a politician who can talk to you. What's he going to tell you? What's he going to tell us? That we should what? Go and get Kondo to chase the Fulani terrorists that Bokwari and his gang brought to Nigeria, who have now occupied everywhere, every part of Nigeria. Nowhere is spared. What are they going to tell us? and they won't offend those who are protecting them now, those who are giving them that immunity, those who made it possible that you can never arrest any of these terrorists and see any of them in court, ever. It got to a stage whereby even the fact that they are controlling the government, yeah, their own children have to be, let's say, escorted by the military to school. They have all the military position, but they can't really protect their people. And the shame of it all is that since Nigeria will continue to fund the war that they are benefiting from, the insecurity that is making them multi-billionaires without any invention. There are many now in Boko Haram's government and in northern Nigeria who have become sudden billionaires. And when you ask them, what are you doing? What's your business? What did you invent? You must have done something so great that serves humanity to the point that you make so much money and you became a billionaire within just 4 years of Boko Haram, just because you got appointed. Because if you created something that helped humanity, when you become a billionaire, whatever you created will either create more jobs that will actually, before you even become a billionaire, to make a billion from scratch to what it can be, trust me, you will build a conglomerate of other people who are actually working to make that money for you. Do you understand what I mean? To make a billion. But if you are a Nigerian, you can become a billionaire just within a week. All you need is what? Have a connection to somebody who have access to the resources of the people, either as a governor or even as a president. Overnight, you can become an overnight billionaire in dollars. So there are many billionaires in northern Nigeria without any invention. Nigeria under Boko Haram, Let me show you this before I even go to that. School children in northern Nigeria, they have to, they have to protect them with soldiers or else they'll be kidnapped. And in northern Nigeria right now, a child is 1 million naira. That's how much the bandit charges now. Some of you have been sending me videos and you think I possibly just ignore that because I don't want to use it. Yeah? Or I don't want to use them. You are right. There are videos sent to me by many of you. These videos are videos where young men are being tortured. Their back are being sliced with razor and they are being beaten. And from the content of that video, they said they are among the students kidnapped by bandits in northern Nigeria. I haven't verified it, but I've seen it everywhere. I'm not going to share such a gory picture or video on my program. And the reason for that is because I don't have to share that to actually prove to people that that is happening. There are other mediums, there are other platforms where you're going to come across them. I'll see things like many of you. And to be honest, there are many of those videos that many of you get to see through the WhatsApp. Some of them, I actually get to see them very early when they happen, including many people who send me images, videos of beheaded people, people slaughtered. Even in Enugu, the killings in Enugu, the videos, the pictures, I have them. But guess what? I can't really share them. They are so terrible to be seen that we can actually lose this platform for sharing them. So why should we? When we can actually use other means to tell people what is going on. So I saw those videos. In northern Nigeria now, when a child is kidnapped, it is 1 million naira. So if, as we speak, you remember those children kidnapped from Niger State, those school children, some of them as young as 6 years old. Some of them are still, few of them have died. They've released some of them after collecting about 180 million naira. Now, as we speak, they have about 80 of them. They are demanding for 80 million, 1 million on each child. Guess what? The government, either in the state or at the federal level, and the government agents and all of that, they have abandoned their people. Let me tell you something. In northern Nigeria today, If you ever get kidnapped, it is your business and your family business. There are many, many territories in northern Nigeria, including Niger State, where Babangida come from. You know, Babangida is from Niger State. Yeah? Mina. The state, where he come from, more than 15 local government areas are now in total control of the bandits, terrorists, different ones that will ransack villages. Like they can ransack about 40, 50 villages. No response from the security, no nothing. Forget it. That is where Babangida is preaching peace, preaching unity, preaching let us blah, 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 blah nonsense. Right? And he was a former general who defended Nigeria when they were killing Biafrans. They didn't want Biafrans to go. And that was why when they finally killed, and the Biafrans agreed to a ceasefire and a surrender, they started giving themselves title, Major General, Lieutenant General, Controller General, blah, 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 General. You know what I mean? But they cannot protect their own people. They have no military intelligence they can share and say, oh, these terrorists, we used to be military. This is what we did, because they are talking to a ghost, a dead brain mannequin. And they want the rest of Nigeria to continue to fund that. Imagine if we have to send soldiers to begin to guide our children to school in Lagos. Imagine if we have to send soldiers to begin to help us guide our children to school in Yoruba land, because they will be kidnapped. Right? They have abandoned their people. You see, all you are seeing right now in Nigeria about we cannot break up, we will not give 2020, is all about politics. That is what is left in northern Nigeria as you are watching this video. Politics. If you take away that politics and power from them and tell them to face their fear and conquer their fear, I mean, what they have, the monster they created, they will become absolute nothing. They will have nothing to say to their people and say, okay, this is the solution. We no longer have politics. We no longer have anything to threaten Nigeria with anymore. Let us face our problem. The insecurity, the poverty, the girl education, the poor education system, the poor healthcare system, the drug abuse among the young people, and on and on and on and on that they should face. If you take politics away, if you take this conversation about how they are going to be either vice president again, how they have to control things, or else Nigeria will burn like they did with Goodluck Jonathan. If you take politics away, nothing is left. They destroyed Nigeria to the point that they made the southern Nigeria feel like poverty is their destiny. You can imagine. Standing or sitting on wealth that can benefit generations, that can change the fortune of those who are alive and those who will come after us. Yet, we have this embargo on it because we are part of Nigeria. So imagine one day when we have to send soldiers or Motekun to help us guide our children to school. We are going to get to that stage. It is going to get to that stage, but unfortunately, we will not likely have soldiers because the only people privileged to have them are those who have direct contact with those who failed to protect the people, but they can hire soldiers for your private guide or private protection. You don't have that as a Yoruba. You will never get that as a Biafran. You will have to be on your own. The same people will tell you, you have no right to protect yourself. How is that fair? It's not, is it? It's not.